boring. Like I said,
Smile.
hello, Tor, anytime.
Wave, smile.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
This is the Shaver show. I mean, class. What? I don't know. It's about to show. We'll see what's needed in the world. The chef's gonna come. So basically what I want to do is I really want to try and finish the 5 creations that we have left in chapter 2. So then we can finish chapter 2 before then this month.
Does that mean
Okay.
you can't ask questions?
No, you could ask questions, but I just want to go a little faster. That's a good point. It's not asking questions for sure, but like a little bit of, maybe a little bit less sharing than usually we do, which I absolutely love in the door because that's why we have this chabura and not a lecture. You know, I like it much better. Like if I'm giving a class on Zoom and there's no one responding, I'm like, what am I doing? Monologue here? Yeah. Okay, so we're doing right now, I don't need to, yes.
These English translations, because the first one's just, if you.
Oh my gosh, you have, just hold on, hold on. Susan.
Yeah, you're
It's-
jumping
There's
ahead.
2, that's why it's such a cool one. There's 2 completely different translations. How could that be, right?
Yeah,
You
not
want me to
connected.
close it? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so first I'm gonna read in Hebrew, and then I'm gonna give you the 2 translations and explain them. Okay, so I don't think we ever had that before, that there's 2, and I, like my husband who reads Perek Shira, I said to him, do you know what Afbari means?
Yeah.
It's so cool, okay? So first, so what is the song of the clouds of glory? Is Afbari Yitriach Av, Yafitz Anan Oro. And like I said, we always try to like see, like we say, oh no, I don't know this. Oh yeah, sometimes we know it, we don't know we know, okay? So Afbari, right now, I just want to tell you, has 2 different translations, completely different. One translation is that Afbari is the name of an angel. Who would have thunk? How would you know that? You know, like if you didn't know the Mafarshim, I said, I'm so excited to my husband, you know, Afbari, the name of an angel? He doesn't translate that, right? Yatriach, what does it mean when you're matriach, when somebody's matriach you?
So it's an angel with a first and last name? I mean,
Yeah, there you go, Mr. Baruch. But we're gonna explain that too. Okay, what?
I just read reading them yesterday, was talking about Torah and talking about Shemot is name,
Yeah,
and names is what makes people human.
yeah,
And those the angels don't.
that doesn't make, hold on, Gabriel, Michael. Yeah, can you put in a question? Okay, I don't understand that. Usually Montesfredo and I'm like, all right, so anything he knows a million times more than me, but I don't understand what he meant by that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Afari is matriach. Matriach you, they're messing you up. Like it's getting in your way, okay?
What's the other meaning?
Hold on a second. Afari yatriach av. So the Afari, this angel, is burdening the cloud. Av, which means thick, really, is another word for a cloud, and it's used in Tehillim. It says thick clouds. A lot of times, actually, the Siddur Shalom uses that all the time. We say that something's in your way, you can't see clearly, it's only because there's thick clouds in your way. It's there, like, but if there was a blockage here, is the cup here? No, I could say it's not here. Of course it's here, I just can't see it, doesn't mean it's not here. But we get so stubborn that we can't see something, we go, no, it doesn't exist, it's not here, you know, of course it's there, but sometimes you have this blockage, okay? Yafitz Anan Aro. Yafitz is like, it's like, you know, so it causes the cloud. See what I did over here? I wasn't even sure to he in capital or not, is this so confusing? Okay, so he causes the cloud to scatter his light. His light for sure is Hashem's light. Okay, so that's the first translation, and we're going to explain it, and then we're going to go into the next translation. I think it's much easier to do it that way. Okay, because the rest will be totally confused. Okay, so this pasuk is from Eov, which, by the way, if you're looking for something to learn on Tisha B'Av, you can learn Eov. It's like the only time of year that you should know. It's just so sad and upsetting, and all these bad things happen to them. Everybody knows that. That's what, you know. And then so he has this very good, wise friend named Eli Elihu. And Elihu is trying to explain to Yoav about Hashgacha process. And he's using rainfall as an example. Okay, so he's trying to explain to him like how everything happens for a reason. And actually, I just got chills because I just realized that in Sharbi's phone, Rabbeinu Bachai does the same thing. He uses Hashgacha practice for you to realize how it's just incredible how Hashem runs the world. And people do that as a private project. They even write down, you could have a journal about the Hashgacha practice that happens to see how much Hashem runs the world and B, how much Hashem loves you. What happened? Well, I've been meaning to run into this person. I didn't have their phone number and I was going to go to Mishtalem, but I decided, no, I want to go to Macabbi Shira. But then the bus wasn't running, so I had to go to Macabbi Shira and I ran into that person. Whatever. Okay, so Rashi says that Afari is the name of the angel appointed over the clouds and causes the clouds to scatter the rain. And scatter is underlined because that's part of the pasuk, right? He said it causes the cloud to scatter. Okay, so Afari is the name of the angel appointed over the cloud and causes the cloud to scatter the rain of Hashem. So what is the light of the cloud? The light of the cloud is the rain of the cloud. I'm getting all this meteorology here. Like I'm just like I never get to learn about things like that. I don't have time, right? So Afari also takes direct orders from Hashem about where, when, how, everything to do with rain, and that it has to fall in this place, and whether or not the rain is for punishment or for kindness. Okay, there's so many things. If you read, I can't read everything she says here, but it's an incredible book. Whatever, it's very good. She says, for example, there could be rain that it's called a flood, not a flood, a downpour, or it's not a bracha. It's not gishmei bracha. Yes, or gishmei bracha. You don't want all that rain. That's good. Rain. I think that's what happened with Amargo.
Yeah.
He went in the circle, so I'm not going to leave until it's rained, and then rain, and then he's like, okay, you can stop now. When people are running to the hills, So there's different kinds of rain. So listen to this. This is very interesting. This is a book called Mate Levi on the Tefillah of Geshem. Remember on Shmini Atzeres, we say in the beginning, it's like after all the Chagim. And believe it or not, it's coming up soon, very exciting, Chagim. And on Shmini Atzeres, we're going to have this beautiful Tefillah for Geshem. Okay, so this is what he talks about when in the Tefillah of Geshem. I think I've mentioned it before, it's a metaphor for anger. Why? Because some people, when they get angry, what happens? Their nose flares. Right? It's like in our theater school, they'd say, "What's a happy nose? What's an angry nose?" Whatever. Okay, so angry. We know that angry. So that's the Afari. So that sometimes this angel will make rain fall heavily and wrath. That's the Af. What's the Bari part? Any guesses? What's something that's Bari?
Healthy.
Okay, thank you. Who said that? Healthy. And sometimes he also brings rain down to nourish the world's population. The verb is lahav, wrote, like to bring, so we have that, okay? So then there's another thing that says that even when the air is clear, he burdens the cloud. What does that mean? It burdens the cloud. Everything's fine. He says he fills up the clouds with water, scatters the rain on the earth. And what does that mean? It means even when there is absolutely no sign of rain, and then you get a rainstorm, right? We've actually had that not even so long ago. And it was crazy. It was like Sivan or something. Or like, did it rain last night? Did it rain? And I was like, no, it's never. Yeah, it's like there's a whole thing here that's going on. Like I said in the beginning, that from Eov, that his friend Amlok teaching Eov about Hashgacha process, that Hashem runs the world. You could do it like this, you could do it like that. It doesn't Doesn't really matter.
Is it water only designated upon Eretz Israel or all? The reason why I'm asking is because there's flooding going on. My sister lived in Vermont for years. We had floods last week. She could never, ever, ever
Wow.
they had it. New York is having floods. They've never.
I'll tell you
had it.
something.
They spraying the skies.
Okay, like, yeah, but.
It's something
sorry,
else.
yeah. But I'll tell you something, I don't know the answer to that. I do know that Eretz has special hashgacha.
Right. of course.
Einei Hashem or something like that. The eyes of Hashem are on,
Right.
you know, and even, you know, when I lived in America, the halachas of sneeze were different. We were told you can wear a skirt with a slit, as long as the slit is below the knees. And then when seminary girls from America would come to Israel, they were told, by the way, you have to sew up your slits. And then the answer is because when you're in the king's castle, you act different. You act a little bit more refined. You're in the king's castle, you get a lot of privileges from being here, and you have a certain yeah. Okay, I'm trying to figure, okay, so one more question, and then we're gonna go into the second translation. So basically, this person, Eliyahu, is trying to convince Eve that Hashem is an intricate and perfect system of justice, which, and I'm quoting her because I love the way she says it, which man in his puny view cannot fully grasp. His wife died, his kids died, and I don't know about you guys, but right now, it's such a crazy world. We have this, and if you say one of these things, you'd be like, this is upsetting. The transgender thing, it's upsetting. The reform thing in Israel, it's upsetting. Whatever you said about this, it's upsetting. It's upsetting. What's going on in America with the governments? It's upsetting.
What's going on here with the
Biden.
protest?
Exactly. That's what I said before that. I said,
All right, let's,
you know,
we
I just,
understand, we get the point.
it's basically, it's a crazy world, but we have to keep it in mind that Hashem is keeping this going. This is a Hashgacha practice also. Okay, so now the next translation is because up to now, we should all ask the question, very nice what we learned, it's beautiful, we understand, but at the end of the day, it's called the song of the Anea Kavod, of the clouds of glory. We didn't mention a word about that, right? We talked about rain and Hashgacha, but what about, so basically, so let's translate it this other way, which is in the art scroll over here, is that Af Bari, even, Af is also even when it is clear, Af Baror means clear. Hello, Doba. Is somebody sitting here? You want some water? Even when it's clear, he thickens the clouds. Okay, that's the other translation. And he spreads out the rain clouds. He spreads out his rain clouds. So that's the second translation. Okay, so let's talk about the clouds of glory for a minute, just to remind everybody. What was the function of the clouds of glory? They smoothed the path, right? So it was even, right? They protected the Bnei Israel from wild animals and enemies, right? And also it moistened the air so that their clothing would have longevity. It provided shade. We can understand this one, right? Provided shade to the Jewish people from the heat of the desert sun, right? That's a nice kind of, right? It's important. And also provided light from the holiness of the clouds. The holiness of the clouds. I said that wrong. The holiness of the clouds provided light for the Jewish people. Okay, so basically, so if you put them together, then you see that what is the song of the clouds? The song of the clouds of glory is that Hashem will change nature to protect the Jewish people. And this is what I've been saying all along, and I'm going to say it again, that Perek Shira, we learn how much Marabu Masecha, it's incredible how the world is run by Hashem. And the second thing is what he does for us. us how much Hashem loves us. Because a lot of people are like, why is Hashem doing this? Or why is Hashem doing that? And those are questions. And but at the end of the day, we have to also plug into all the positive things that Hashem does for us. All these different things that go on. At the end of the day, Hashem will go out of his way to make a cloud that protect the Jewish people in the heat of the desert. Okay, so it's like so interesting because now we're going through this whole thing, wind and rain and thunder and it's like lightning, it's like all this meteorology stuff. Okay, you're right, turn the page. We are now on Ruach.
But
Yes.
I know, I wasn't here last week, when you.
A difference?
Yeah, when you did the, like, the other clouds, which, what I wanted to say was like in the Hebrew, it just says the clouds say, the one before, and in the English, they call it thick clouds.
Right.
I just was wondering why.
Well, the word av means thick. Okay, so that's one thing,
okay.
right?
But
And-
the second one, and then kavod is not.
This thing where they block. Basically, in a nutshell from last week, is from this one, I think the art scroll says the clouds tell us never to despair because Hashem is always present, even when we can't see him. That's just,
Okay,
I have
okay,
this thing that I want to do. We'll see, like that we could do as a scene, we could do a presentation and everybody will say a few things to learn from each one. We'll have music and a slideshow and everything, but whatever. It's just because if you just have that as a mantra, if you have that as a mantra that that the clouds tell us never to despair because Hashem is always present even when we can't see him. Right? If you could just keep that in mind, it's like, I don't get you, Hashem. I don't get you. Where are you? And I've been davening. Sweet Sparsha Ve'askana. Why? Read the Rashi. Why? Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu. Oh, God. Yeah. I know. Okay, we're gonna do Ruach. Ruach is a very interesting word. It has so many translations. It could mean the wind. It could mean your Ruach Ra is like, like we wash our hands in the morning because of bad something or other. I don't even know how to translate that. Ruach Ra. No, but when you Ruach. Yeah. You said Tuma? Good English translation. Anyway, also don't get confused because sometimes when they talk about ruchot, they're not talking about the wind at all. They're talking about directions. The arbor ruchot. They're talking about directions. East, north, south, east, or west. So just like sometimes it'll be like, what? Oh, right, okay. The arbor ruchot. Okay. Okay. So what does the wind say? The wind says, Amar l'tzafon tini. V'leteman al tichli. Havia b'nai merchok v'nosai say to the north, and I like in brackets, it's really wind. Okay, to the l'tzafon, to the north wind, it says deliver them. Tini is like give them, right? And Taman, we had this before with Gan Eden. Taman on the south. And it says, do not withhold, right? So we see what's going on here. There's giving and there's withhold. Basically, we're talking about chesed and gevurah, right? Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Okay, so the north is Syria and Babel and Ashur, and the south is Egypt and Moab and Edom. Okay, so she says in this book, Hashem's tremendous love and devotion to the Jewish people, in spite of their misdeeds, and his promise to redeem them from some Herod or from the final exile of Mashiach. This is from Yeshaya, this pasuk. Okay, So the east wind is a strong, hot wind that usually brings disaster. Okay, that's east wind. The north and south wind is so funny. What does this remind you of, guys? Maybe I'm the only one who's so crazy. The north and wind winds.
Wizard of Oz.
Thank you. The Wizard of Oz, the wicked witch of the east, and the north, Glenda, whatever her name is. She was the witch of the north.
Did somebody do it?
Tenere.
No, not only that, that they were, all writers were so influenced by the Bible. and
Oh,
they got
right,
so
yeah,
much
yeah,
from
yeah,
us.
but just like different ways, like, hey, you know, I always loved Glinda. The north and south winds are beneficial winds, okay? So Babel and Ashur are in the north, while Egypt is in the south. Hashem will command the north and the south to return the sons to them.
Which ones are beneficial? The north?
The north and south.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a review about Gan Eden. You really have to, because she does, and whatever. Gan Eden said, awake from the north, come from the south, right? So we learned that the north has to do with physical pleasure and gratification, and the south is spiritual fulfillment, okay? So we're gonna talk about it again in a minute. So Rashi says the north wind is weak, and it needs physic, and that's why it says to need, give, deliver. It's a kind of like a more of a it's a what do you call it? It needs physics, so you just give, you just asking it. It's not strong language, and in the Canadian also it says worry, awake from the north. It's like a gentle language for both of them. Okay, but the south wind doesn't need physics because it's the spiritual, right? And that's why it says here, it says Bowie, come, so it comes. It's like more of a strong language. Come, just it's like what do you call it? It's a demand. Okay. So basically what he's saying is that the song of the wind is a reminder of the promise to return the Jewish people from the four ruchot, right? From the four directions, and it's a tefillah. It's a tefillah for it to happen. Okay, like we said, the four corners, we said the ruchot are the four corners of the world, and the four corners of the world is where we have been exiled to. Okay, we got this. It says in Yeshaya, and the lost ones in the land of Asher will come, and the abandoned ones in the land of Mitzrayim, and they will bow down to Hashem on the holy mountain. This is the idea of coming back to Hashem. And yeah, so we're doing good with that. Okay, there's something else I was just going to say about the book, and I just lost it. I don't remember. Okay, whatever. So basically,
This
that's what
also
we're talking about.
alluding to the Geula, when you bring the sons and daughters from afar. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It's also Yeshayahu.
I did not quote. My husband said maybe I shouldn't say this, but it talks about the Banot. What it said about the Banot was not very complimentary. It talked about how women are something that those kalos have a less of a strong what? And then not just kalos, whatever. So it's harder for it's going to be hard. It's harder for the women to. So that's why it says the women are at the edges of their because whatever, you know, there's just I was understanding. My husband said, I said, listen to this. My husband's like, why would you quote that to me?
So that's maybe one of the.
Exactly. It was in Macroskidolos. Right. I didn't write it. I didn't even write it down. But anyways, yeah. Okay. So that's what we're learning from the Ruach. Okay. So it's all connected. Wind, Ruach, I mean the Ruach and the rain. Now this one is super cool. I said to my husband, you have to get this one. Okay. The lightning. Okay. We're going to go into the lightning. You got some good pictures over here, right? I know, but you guys have a lot of memories in Montreal. We had lots of lightning storms. Okay.
South Africa.
Yeah.
Massive. I mean, I used to love it. The lightning used to just crack the sky.
Yeah.
And then you have thunder and lightning again.
Yeah,
and
Montreal too.
The lights would glow and everything would glow.
Okay.
Trees would fall.
Yeah. Okay. So
love
lightning is from Tehillim. It says Barakim lamatar asa. Okay, lightning, right? For matar is another word for rain. There's geshem and there's matar. And we're going to have. Right. We're going to have the next one next week is dew, and the one after that is geshamim, is rain. Okay, next week is Hashem. Okay, so lightning is made for rain. Motzei ruach me'otzo sal. He takes out the wind. He says he brings forth winds from his treasury. Oh, what does that mean? It's treasury. Where's that come from? Okay. So basically, this song of lightning it designates lightning as part of Hashem's system of bringing rain and demystifying it, and denying all other sources of power. Again, we're being pointed at this is all from Hashem. It's not because of altitudes and this causes this and da. Everybody, at the end of the day, we have to realize that all of nature, Hashem is causing it. He's in charge of it. He could change it. He could do it like this. He could do it like that. Whatever he wants. He can make farad, which is fire and water together. Like everybody has their favorite. Maca, plague. I like the bride. I think that's pretty gosh darn cool. With fire and souffle. Ever see they do that? They take ice and I don't know. Whatever. They do that, right? In restaurants, they take ice and I don't know what they do. I think they put like I think they put like some sort of arak or something like that, which lights. And then yeah. Okay. So okay. I said to my mother, you ever hear of the Sefer Kilos Yaakov? He stands up and he goes and he gets the Sefer. And like we have it. Okay. So first of all, it's very interesting because we have a bracha on seeing lightning, right? And the bracha is Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Oseh Maaseh Bereshis. He makes the work of creation. What's so crazy about that? He makes. It's in the present tense. We have to keep Hashem in our lives. He makes the lightning. It's not something that happened like the 7 days of the week. That's the first 7 days of Bereshit. Hashem created all these things and took a vacation. No, he's right there all the time. Okay, so listen to this. This is really cool. So Barak has the same gematria as Yesod Debriya, the foundation of creation. Okay, now it gets better. So lightning is the aspect of the Gevurah of Hashem. Okay, we can understand that, right? It's pretty Gevurah. But what does it bring? Rain. What's rain? Chesed. Yeah. Okay, so lightning is an aspect of the Gevurah of Hashem, yet it brings rain, which is the chesed of Hashem. So we said over here, the pasuk says, he made lightning for the rain, right? So rain is a chesed that's hidden within the vessel of Gevurah. You got that? I just want to make sure everybody gets this because it gets better. Barakim, lightning, has a gematria of chesed b'kli Gevurah. Chesed in a vessel of Gevurah.
Wow.
Where is that from? The Zohar.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Of the
previous one was
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and because it's from the Zohar, it's also amazing because people, gemachos are fun and they're great. But if you go to a Sheva Brachas and they talk about the gematria of the Kala is the same gematria as the Chassan's first babysitter. And it goes, it's cute, it's funny, and it's fine. But it's not Torah. Right, it's not Chazal, not Torah. But when you get, because gematria is real, it's it's a real thing. You have to see, well, who said, when you hear the gematria of this and this, oh, that's interesting, who said it? Yeah, okay, so this is from the Zohar. Okay, the Radak says, lightning bolts are like a flame. Okay, and the nature of rainwater is to what? Extinguish the flame. Extinguish fire. So nevertheless, Hashem caused the flaming lightning bolts to be formed together with the rain to demonstrate his power to manipulate nature in accordance with his will. That's why I can't say this enough about how much we're learning Macabbi from Perek Shira. We're learning like
so it's like two opposite forces that would normally
Yeah.
each other out.
Yeah,
And like coexisting and enhancing each other.
exactly.
And it's about having the balance between the good and the
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we really do know that it's not like chesed is good and war is bad. We know that. We know that. And like my grandchildren have been around, and they want ice cream and they want to give them an ice cream and then they want another one. The second one I have to have kavod. They're hard for me. Yeah, have another ice cream. I don't care, like that. It's not going to kill them, but no, they should. We want them to be hungry so that they'll eat good food. So it's not chesed to give them another ice cream.
And too much sugar is not.
And the sugar, of course.
So then at the very end, we like, we're with you so far, but then at the very end, they just slip in the wind. Which,
Okay,
so
you're right.
Wow.
We have to keep going. 100%.
how does that connect?
Right. No, I love the part of treasury. That's like, okay, so this is the Radak. And I'll tell you, whenever the thing that we're doing is from Tehillim, I'm so happy because I've the art scroll Tehillim with the big, the big fat ones, the two big fat ones. I've had it for years. I hardly ever use them. I haven't bought them one night, but now I'm using it all the time. It's so wonderful to get all this in English. Okay, so he brings forth wind from his treasuries. Okay, the wind plays an essential role in the water cycle. Okay, it drives the rain clouds from the seas. Picture this in your mind, right? We got the seas, and that's where the rain clouds are, at the edge of the land, into the interior, where the rain is needed. Okay, that's the ruach. Okay, but unlike the other three elements, what are the other three elements?
You have the fire, the lightning, and you have the
Fire,
the
water.
water, and it's all happening on the earth.
Right. So the fire / lightning and the water / rain and earth. Ruach, translated with water, air, is invisible to the human eye, as if it's in a treasury vault. He brings it out through what? Through the wind. It is, though the wind is no more than a movement of the air which is always present, since the presence of the air is not felt until when? When the wind. Until the wind begins to blow. So it seems as if it came out of nowhere. As if it came from where? Some hidden treasury. It's like
wind, it reveals, it's a revealing process. It reveals something that's invisible. And it reveals it so that we can perceive it.
right. It's like, because you could take wind, air, it's the same thing, like you say all the time, we're supposed to thank Hashem for everything, but we don't usually thank Hashem for air. These days we might, because we feel like there's no air, then we're like, Hashem, like, thank you for the air conditioner, whatever, and should live and be well, but that's what we're talking about. It's like, it's a treasure because it came from nowhere. Ever like be somewhere where and all of a sudden like a breeze comes by, you're like, oh my gosh, Or you're lying in bed going, I can't breathe, and you're thirsty and dry and everything, and then a wind comes in. You know, and it's like, where'd that come from? You could say, well, actually, I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from Hashem's secret treasury. Oh, come on, who told you that? Doba. Oh, well, you know Doba. No, it's in Tehillim stuff. Okay, so Rav Hirsch says, which I took from somebody's house, the place where I work, they have Rav Hirsch Tehillim in English, and I ordered it, and it's not a print. It's not available, and somebody went to, Judy went to Yerushalayim, and she tried to find some.
Maybe it is a print, or maybe it's just.
No, I'm really trying, I really want to try and get one. Okay,
Which
so
book is that?
Rav Hirsch on Tehillim.
Oh, on Tehillim.
Yeah. It's just.
we might have it. I
Oh,
will
Judy
see.
told me to ask you
I
about
will
this.
look into it. We have some of the.
Who's we?
Me and my husband, we have some of the Hirsch store, so I'll look and see.
Huh?
Why did you bring it up?
Right, thank you. But that's how we have to, you're right, we have to pay attention to these things. Because the one that I have has vows and leaves and stuff.
Oh, well, if we have it, it is old,
Yeah.
so I can't promise.
But would you know if Targum or Feldheim put their?
Would ever put out Hirsch?
Yeah, no, I know it's Feldheim, but if it's very old, the one I have. Okay, so he says that lightning is an extraordinary brief description of the phenomenon of a thunderstorm. Okay, I just love this.
Say it
'cause
again.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm gonna extrapolate on that, but I'm just like, he said the lightning is an extraordinary brief description of the phenomenon of a thunderstorm. So there's three separate stages, okay? First, there's the wind, followed by thunder, and then the rain appears. Motzi, in our pasuk, right? It's in the present tense, Motzi Ruach. He brings forth winds. But then it says Asa is in the past tense, right? He brings forth winds. And then, right, in the present. Oh, okay, so how come I can't get it?
You can contact Feld and book.
That's what,
In Israel, right, as of
oh, so,
now, it's not available.
In
So
Israel.
Maybe you can order from a state.
Okay, but we don't order from the United States shipping.
It's like reverse shipping.
Right? So, yeah, we don't have that ability.
so if I would order privately, then I'd have to pay a lot of money shipping?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's bring it.
Bring it right, okay.
Someone bring it.
Uh-huh.
You know?
That looks much better printing. I see it. Thank you. Okay. You know, go nowhere. Let's see.
Somebody should contact Doba, send some over to Israel.
Yeah, that's not what I have.
So you probably have the same one I have.
The
Right.
Hirsch Tehillim.
So close and yet so far. Okay, so we
Make
said,
an announcement, somebody's gonna know somebody coming.
right,
Yeah.
and you,
Maybe in London they have it.
or any, or.
I can have a look when I'm there.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so we said that Motzi is in the present tense and Asa is in the past tense. I'm a little confused here. Hold on a second. So he said he brings forth winds, right? So, he made lightning. Okay, he made lightning.
On Amazon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but
And also
5
from
stars.
some of these places that advertise it, they won't. I was at the computer shop yesterday and I was looking at the stationer and they have it in the United States. But it doesn't have to Israel.
Right.
It depends.
You would think a Hirsch to Tehillim. I mean, if they're not going to ship to Israel, where they shipped it?
I don't know, I'm just saying.
Okay, so let's do this because I have to tell you, I'm a little confused. Okay, so we said that Motzi is in the present tense, right? Motzi Ruach. He brings, it brings from his treasuries, brings them out from his treasuries. It's in that. But when it says Asa, was in the past tense. He made lightning, okay? At the moment, it's like this. At the moment of which God first releases the wind, he has already, in retrospect, l'chara, he has already fashioned the bolts of lightning, which will precede the downpour of rain.
It's amazing.
Also, how does Rav Hirsch, how did he know these things? You know, like, obviously, I mean, he didn't live that much, but he did, you know, like, these people, they weren't like, what? It's not that long. No, that's what, yeah,
Okay, you
Yeah.
learn from other sources too.
Right.
you know.
right. No, they really, but you're right, but that's not my point. My point is he didn't just sit with a Chumash and Rashi or a Gemara or whatever. Yeah. Right. But it's not only him. He said we quoted the Radak. Yeah, we quoted the Radak, whatever, we just see Rashi, whatever. That's a long time ago, Rashi, whatever. But the things that they knew about. Right. Exactly. Beautiful. Yeah.
Now they're finding out.
Exactly. Right. This is like just an example of it. So you just see this thing from here that sorry, so I'm just reading this thing over here. A lightning bolt is sudden and frightening. It packs a lethal charge of electricity and heats the air around it to 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
50,000 degrees.
Not 49, 50,000.
Lightning.
Lightning bolts.
Wow.
So it's almost
And
like
brightens the darkest night for an instant. The sages see it as a sign of God's control of nature, because the fire of lightning combines with the moisture of rain and neither destroys the other. Fearsome and destructive though it can be, lightning announces rain and the wind that brings the clouds where they are needed. So it's just, it's just mind-blowing.
So lightning's the announcer and like the wind is like the mover and shaker. It's controlling.
Yeah.
So there's always wind then, whenever there's lightning.
It's also interesting here, where like there's no, like, it
So it
doesn't,
sounds like you need the wind to like push the clouds
Right.
so over the land.
Right. because that's where you need the rain.
Otherwise, you know, otherwise we wouldn't have rain all over. If the wind wasn't pushing the clouds would just staying over the ocean where most of the evaporation is.
It's also interesting that we don't talk here about thunder. It's like not one of the creations.
There isn't anyone, there isn't one thunder, so it's just,
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
That is interesting.
No, I
Yeah,
have
because
to.
almost everything else is in Perek
Yeah,
Shira.
I know. We have to,
I really cover nature.
It's like, was talking about how rock, wind comes out of our body, but along with that comes moisture. Like when it's cold, we can see this mist.
You know,
But even now, there's mist coming out of us as we sleep. And it goes into the air, of the atmosphere, and then it rises up, and so it sense we're part of Hashem.
interesting.
And so when we speak, we should strive to speak good words, good kavanah, because just like the sun evaporates the water from the sea or whatever and forms the clouds, we're contributing to those clouds. We're contributing. And so we have in our small little humble
For
way,
sure, for
you
sure.
know, that our
For sure.
voices, our words, and the wisdom that comes from that should rise up to Shemayim and shower souls.
You know, in Koheles, there's the famous
This is
line,
what Rebbe and I heard.
Esther Baylor Schwartz, she's great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Baelish was a
Yeah, she's great. You know, the famous thing in Koheles where there's a pasuk that says Hevel, I find Hevel, Mavalim, Kol, Hevel, I don't know, whatever. It's like And I think it's the Ramban says, what is Hevel? Hevel is like on a cold day when you breathe, and you go, sometimes you're like, is it cold or is it just me? No, it's cold. It's cold, I'm like, whatever, think cold right now. It's really good. Anyway, I have a big picture in my living room, which my husband bought me. And when I say big, I mean big. It's like Canada in the sun in the winter. Snow and snow on the trees. It's like cold. So Hevel, like that's the rough. So like, what is Hevel? Hevel is just like, you could see it, but there's nothing. It's not.
It's nothing.
It's nothingness, right? Yeah. That's what Shlomo was trying to say. Everything is nothing. And I think it's Rabbi Nachman that says that there's a mashal to that there's a man who shows everybody that he has something in his hand. And he walks away and people start following him. He starts running and more and more and more until there's a huge crowd following him. And he opens his hand and there's nothing there. And that's a lot of Yetzer Hara. Following Yetzer Hara, and there's nothing there. This whole idea of ruach, about of like, is it nothing or is it something? Because at the end of the day, there are certain things that are could be both, like a klipa that could be that used for right. Right. Yeah. How do we turn this off? Like, see, that's how I end the class every week. So, yeah, next
So
week.
we have to distinguish like between ruach, which we can't see usually, or air, and hevel, which we also, I don't know, we think we see it, we think it's something, but it's really nothing. And then the air, which we can't see and we might think is nothing, but it's really something. And ruach is also like spirits.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I get like the heebie-jeebies when somebody wakes up and doesn't wash their hands. It's like even my grandchildren, like, you guys want to wash your hands today? They're like laughing, and then their mother or father grabs them to go wash.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't ask, you just they come.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as a grandma, but yeah, because it just feels like it just feels like that we have this whole ruach in our body and it's leaving through our hands, and for Hashem, we have a antidote. All we have to do is go like this and we get rid of the ruach. Yeah. I just want to say one thing that I learned also. We're going to do, bye everybody. I just want to say one thing which I thought was super cool about we're going to do next week, is Hashem Tal and Geshem.